Yo, what's up? It is Sunday, the 12th of January 2014. I am Ant-Man. Um, I've got some cool news now in front of me from WND under the column Diversions. This is from today. Beyond NASA photo, hand of God seen everywhere. Stunning X-ray telescopic image suggests more than some scientists intended. Look at this picture though. This is beautiful. This is like a nebula or something, but it looks like a hand grabbing at a crown or something. It's really amazing. That's a really nice thing to see. Although the newest galactic image captured by a NASA telescope is being reported widely, there's a major irony in the name given to the remarkable photograph, the Hand of God. Today's scientific establishment is largely secular. Oh, you think? Even atheistic. Well, the state religion is atheism because they promote it in all the schools. They promote evolution. They want to pretty much take God out of the equation and tell you that there's this secret wisdom that you can have that it's funny because whenever I debate an evolutionist, it's you don't understand millions of years. Only I can understand that, but you don't understand that. And it's such a cop out because it's like you claim to have like this divine wisdom that only you have, and then there you go going down the you left science and went right down to religion right away, and by saying the atheist has a lot of faith. A lot of people don't realize that you have to have a tremendous and uh, amount of faith to believe in evolution, my friend, because there's no evidence for it. Whenever you talk to an evolutionist about why they believe or what sold them to believe in it, they'll say the staggering amount of evidence is overwhelming. And it's like, what evidence? You mean all of that stuff that's been proven fraud? You know what I mean? It's like, what are you talking about? They have claims to these baseless they make these claims that have they hold no water to them. They have no evidence. Uh, so anyway, even atheistic. So naming the image of an exploding star captured by NASA's Nuclear Spectroscopic Telescope Array, or NuSTAR, the hand of God seems just a rare and whimsical acknowledgement of God, since the image does not bear an unmistakable resemblance to a giant cosmic hand. However, renowned scientist Arthur Robinson, commenting on the photo's name, tells WND that until the current historical era, everything in nature was considered by scientists to be evidence of the hand of God. Well, yeah. Um, what I love about scientists from like the 1600s is they didn't consider themselves scientists. Isaac Newton wasn't going around telling people, "I'm a scientist. Listen to me. I'm a scientist." He wasn't saying stuff like that. He didn't even consider himself a scientist. But the academics of today, they're like, "I'm a scientist. You have to listen to me." This is a progressive humanistic mindset that we do not ever research anything on our own, and we just rely on the experts to do all the work for us. This is a it's a we're I don't have this, like, you know what I mean? I don't have an advantage over you. You know what I mean? You can know what I know. You just got to study. You got to learn this stuff. But the experts are going to tell you, don't worry about it, I'll take care of it. Even the progressives will tell you that we shouldn't ever debate the things that come up in science. We should let them alone and let Stephen Hawking's and Richard Dawkins slander and blaspheme and say everything proves that there's no God. Albert Einstein is probably he's probably the most famous for saying this, and that's he can't stand when atheists quote him because he's like, it's obvious that I am trying to tell you that everything that Albert Einstein, he understood complicated math, really complicated things. And he tells you straight up everything is like pointing to a creator. Everything points to the fact that everything did not get on its own to be so complicated. And it's like if you threw a bunch of words on the ground and you expect them to just spell a bunch of stuff like a whole sentence, it's never going to happen. The Big Bang never happened because for a Big Bang to happen, everything is it doesn't make any sense because everything would have to spin the same way, and you could clearly see that. And there's just so many things. The rings on Saturn, you know what I mean? If the universe was billions and billions of years old, those rings around Saturn wouldn't be there anymore. And there's so many things that you can disprove evolution with, but they are never going to listen to you because they are hiding behind a institutionalized religion so that they can get away from acknowledging who God is, because when you acknowledge who God is, you realize that He is calling you out. God is calling your conscience out, and people don't like that. You know, people think that they're good people and they don't need God, and that's a lie. That is a lie from the devil. You're not inherently good. You don't inherently go toward being a good person, and you can't be one on your own. People cannot change who they are, and people cannot change other people. I believe that the only thing that can change who you are is the inspirational gospel of knowing what is going on. You can know what's going on. It's not hard. But the postmodern era that we live in, we throw out all of the important stuff. Like listen to what this guy says here. People saw the hand of God of everything because they knew nothing whatsoever about the science behind everyday phenomena. Well, he's going toward the fact that I'm glad we left the Dark Ages, and you know, because nowadays we're in that humanistic era where we think we're God. We think we're so smart and brilliant. But we're in professing ourselves to be wise, we become fools, and it's true because we're living this deluded lifestyle where we think that we can set up facts and what's true and what's not. And they go as far as to say that there is no absolute truth, and that they're never right, and that they're always chasing their tail with what is it? They have this method of learning things through being wrong, and it's just circular reasoning, and it's ridiculous to think that you're ever going to learn anything with circular reasoning. It's just stupid to think that way. I mean, I don't know why people can't see that, but it's because they're not really looking for the truth. They're looking to run from something, and we all know what that is. However, renowned scientists, blah blah blah, scientists during most of history have recognized that natural beauty that they are privileged to see and study could only have been the product of an awesome creator, Robinson said. It's so obvious, you guys. Nothing gets to be in like how everything is in such like order, in such perfect harmony. You think that all of that happened because of an explosion? It's absolutely embarrassing to talk about this because it's not even scientific to believe that. It's ridiculous to believe that nothing exploded and created all of the elements on the periodic table. It created life. You know what I mean? It's just all of this stuff is just really ridiculous, man. And then you got people like Stephen Hawking who puts himself on a pedestal and says there is no God, and then because he said it, it must be true. It's really it's an embarrassment, man. It really is. The new NASA photo resulted when the New Star Telescope X-rayed the explosion of a star and subsequent ejection of a huge cloud of matter that shows up as blue in the image. In a press release, New Star Telescope principal investigator Fiona Harrison of the California Institute of Technology in Pasadena said New Star's unique viewpoint in seeing the highest energy X-rays is showing us well-studied objects and regions in a whole new light. Robinson, a former Caltech professor and co-founder with Nobel laureate Linus Pauling of the Linus Pauling Institute and later of the Oregon Institute of Science and Medicine, assured WND that while science has become increasingly atheistic, many scientists today still recognize the hand of God in the natural world. Well, because it's so obvious. In The Marketing of Evil, author and WND manager-editor David Kuplian points out a few other scientists who see the hand of God everywhere. This ubiquitous natural wonderland caused man to acknowledge and honor the creator of creation, as Copernicus did when he wrote, "The world has been built for us by the best and most orderly workmen of all." Or as Galileo wrote, "God is known by nature in his works and by doctrine in his revealed word." Or as Pastor confessed, "The more I study nature, the more I stand amazed at the work of the Creator." Or Isaac Newton, "When I look at the solar system, I see the Earth at the right distance from the sun to receive the proper amounts of heat and light. This did not happen by chance." Amen, Isaac Newton. Newton, interestingly, is universally regarded as one of the most important scientists in history. No duh, he invented the scientific method. That is, or was it Sir? It was Francis Bacon or Isaac Newton. Somebody please help me with that, because I know one of them did. And in his 1687 book, Mathematical Principles of Natural Philosophy, is considered perhaps the most influential science book of all time, laying out the basis for classical mechanics. Woodrow Wilson goes on record saying that Newton, the way that people that wrote the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution, Woodrow Wilson tried to say that he knows more than them, and that Isaac Newton saw everything as a mechanic, and it's mechanical. But he said everything is evolutionary and Darwinian. You see how the new humanist mindset works is that it's all focused on me. It's all focused on evolution. It's all focused on a godless worldview. But when you look at things from where it originated, people like Isaac Newton, people who used their minds, man, people who were brilliant, you see that they clearly are pointing you to the direction that you can't explain any of this, man. You can't explain the creation. The creation is a beautiful thing to realize, but it all points to the fact that we don't know where, you know what I mean? You cannot prove the evolution theory and you cannot prove the creation theory because everybody wants physical evidence, but the Christian knows because you clearly see something like a lamp and you see that somebody had to have made this lamp that is giving me light. It's the same thing with a tree outside. You look at a tree and you're like, someone had to have made this. It didn't just get here by itself. And it's not as how could something that complicated of an organism be, anything like people actually believe that there are simple molecules and like, like it's not true, like it's nothing is simple, dude. Everything, all these, like, when it comes to the molecular level, a lot of things are complicated, and to think that it's evolving, no, my friend. We are a copy off of a copy off of a copy. Imagine how the original, the Adam, the first man ever, imagine how much we've degenerated, like physically and mentally from then. We're not as healthy as Adam. Adam lived to be like 800 or 900 years old. What do we live to be? Like 70 if we're lucky? Because it's been a degeneration of our DNA throughout history. There's chemtrails in the air. There's pollution everywhere. It's just a natural thing, But Newton also wrote another book many people have never heard about, Observations upon the Prophecies of Daniel and the Apocalypse of St. John. In fact, the devout Christian, Newton spent a significant amount of his time researching and studying the Bible. With views like that, which by today's academic standards might be regarded as unscientific, well, because that's a cop-out. They don't want to study and do things right, so they rather say that it's a Bronze Age mythology, which doesn't even make sense. That's a baseless... This is what the atheistic evolutionary psychologist, or the scientist, says. He puts up a straw man and knocks him down, thinking that is what you believe in, when he's making erroneous presuppositions about what you believe in. That's the evolutionary psychology, my friend. Oh, you believe in... And then they set up a straw man and knock them down and pretend like they're superior in knowledge to you, when it's not even anywhere near that in reality. It is questionable whether Sir Isaac Newton, history's most famous scientist, could have landed a professorship at a modern secular university. Isaac Newton would probably be called a fool, and he's one of the smartest scientists that ever lived. And in today's society, somebody like Isaac Newton would get mocked because he looks at everything from a creationist standpoint. And if you're a creationist trying to teach at a university, you're gonna get your tenure taken away. You're gonna go from tenured professor to lab assistant if you're a creationist, because they're trying to push the state religion on you, which is evolution, which has no proof, which isn't even scientifically you can't observe it. It's unobservable. It doesn't make any sense. You have to accept it by faith. You have to. There's no other way. Here are a few other images that scientists of past eras have had they've been privileged to view them, would certainly have regarded as the handiwork of a divine creator. A star swirl. I'll show you some of these pictures. These are beautiful pictures, man. Look at this one. That is amazing. Oh, but all of this happened on its own, you guys. There's no God. It's just all by accident and coincidence. This article goes on, by the way, if you want to read it for yourself. It is Beyond NASA Photo, Hand of God Seen Everywhere. This is on WND.com under the column diversions. See, I'm already getting ahead of myself. See, because I do this because that'll be cool if you convert to Christianity, because it's obvious, you guys. If you're not listening, let me address your conscience at least real quick. God came in human form 2,000 years ago so that you wouldn't ever have to feel shame, guilt, and condemnation anymore. How awesome is that? That's a free gift for you, by the way. And you get to look forward to heaven after you die. This isn't the end. So come on, atheists. You guys are, what is the atheist offering you? There's no purpose to life. Everything's pointless. It all got here by, we're all just going to be 6 feet under when we die. Everything is just like this cynical, like sad. viewpoint. But dude, pray and go to your room by yourself and ask God to help you and see what happens, man. Really, God loves boldness. He really does. If you ask him like 100 times a day for something, I'm sure he might give it to you because he likes boldness. He likes persistence. He likes to see you really looking for him. Because if you look for him, he'll meet you halfway. Anyway, God bless.